Hey guys, this week I'm in the refreshed 2023 Nissan Altima. This is the 2-liter VC turbo. This is the SR grade with $37,000 sticker price. But today I'm going to tell you why I like this vehicle in a lot more ways than I thought, and why in some ways it's also better than the all-new redesigned Honda Accord. One of the biggest benefits is going to be underneath the hood. The Honda Accord dropped the 2-liter, more specifically the 2-liter turbo. Now, this has a 2-liter turbo, something like I said the Honda Accord no longer offers. And this offers 236 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. That is both more horsepower and more torque than the top powertrain Honda Accord hybrid. Now, this is mated to a CVT transmission. We'll talk more about that later, as well as front wheel drive only. Now, Nissan does offer all-wheel drive in different grades on the Nissan Altima. Unfortunately, not with this VC turbo. If it did, this thing would be a true all-wheel drive hot sedan. Fuel economy is around 25 to 32, just depending on the type of driving I've been doing with this vehicle. Now, the front end has been refreshed. This is the biggest upgrade for this vehicle. I turned the turn indicator on because it'll let you know that for 2023, they've incorporated the turn signal into the headlight, or should I say the daytime running light. As I step back, you can see that it's obviously the same daytime running light area. Now, the SR grade, of course we have this cool badge, but the SR gets this unique black front end that no other grille has in the Nissan Altima lineup. We have the new Nissan badges here as well. Now we have a black V-Motion grille that has been updated. It looks a lot better than the outgoing V-Motion grille. And then right on the outside of this black bezel, we have this chrome piece that is darkened. It looks really strong on this SR grade. On the very corner of the bumper, we have this big angular piece that has been upgraded as well for this 2023 refresh. As we come to the side, these 19-inch wheels are really cool looking. I do like them better than the Honda Accord 19-inch wheel options. They're wrapped in Bridgestone Turanza's 235 by 40, and this also has the optional paint matched mud guards here behind the wheels on the front and the back. And man, just the side profile from the Altima definitely has an edge up over the Honda Accord, especially the front end. I mean, the Honda Accord, the new one, is so reserved, it's so basic and bland, so vanilla, and that's where this vehicle can really capitalize on someone who wants a more sporty vehicle and something that's also going to perform a little bit better too. I've also forgot to mention the hood sticks out of the body just a little bit, and you'll notice that when you see this vehicle driving on the road. It is for design purpose, so it's almost like sitting on top of the headlights here, on top of the fender. You can see the shadow it's casting. Gosh, I can't tell you the last time I saw something like that. I think some of the Genesis models kind of have an overlapping hood like that. As we go to the back here, man, this paint color really stands out. Put exactly what it is. It is a premium color. You are going to pay more for it, but we have Altima. And I like how Altima is kind of just like the silver gray. It's not super shiny, and it matches the new upgraded Nissan logo as well. All of the Honda Accords have this really shiny chrome for their badges on the back, and I think this looks better. And the SR grade has this really cool orange finish to it, which does complement the contrasting paint color here. And we have this deck lid spoiler as well. The VC turbo on the back knows that we got a little bit of go underneath the hood. Dual exhaust here is a giveaway, as well as the glossy black rear diffuser. Getting in the back seat, we do have leather in this SR grade with a little bit of orange perforation here in the middle. I think it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, the headrests are fixed. They don't move. So let's go ahead and sit back here. And on the door frame, this is all hard touch, but if we get down closer to where your arm is actually going to be in contact with the vehicle, and I gotta turn these blinkers off because it is the most annoying blinker I think I've ever been in contact with. But anyways, yeah, it is soft touch when your arm is going to be most likely. So nice stitching here, a little orange and white, and glossy black around the window stitch. Just like the Honda Accord, we don't have a matte pocket on this side. At least it's soft touch. Nice stitching you can see from the back here. Look, on the Sport L Accord hybrid that I reviewed last week, we did not have rear vents, nor did we have rear USBs. You have both of them here. That's something I only saw in the touring grade of the new Honda Accord. So here's your singular matte pocket. We also have cup holders back here. Been using this car to get my kids to and from school, and they've been comfortable back here. I've been comfortable too, obviously just for now. I don't sit back here much since I'm driving it. Plenty of legroom, and I have more headroom in here than I did in the Honda Accord. Getting in the front seat, we have Altima SR mats in here. with a little bit of stitching on the outside. I do appreciate that. Also stitching on the door here. On the top, we didn't have the stitching on the top on the back door, just on the armrest. We have one automatic window switch here. I believe the Honda was automatic on all the switches. Nice solid door slam, and we have soft touch here at the top. We have blind spot monitor. It comes up here instead of on the mirror itself. And we also have Bose. Bose is in here. It sounds great. And the only way you can get Bose is on the touring grade of the Accord. We also have a standard sunroof in here, no panel roof as an option, kind of like the Accord as well. And behind the steering wheel, we have the upgraded 7-inch MID. The Honda Accord has a 10-inch MID that's standard across every single trim level. Of course, I prefer the 10-inch on the Honda, but this isn't bad either. I do like having my physical tach as well as my physical speedometer all the time. And the 7-inch still gives me all the information I could ask for and more. And like the Accord, we have this 12-inch screen in here. And I actually like it in some ways better. I like how it's so easy to get to the main menu in here, switch between the radio stations, get back to my Android Auto. It is wireless, and guess what? This comes with a wireless charger on this grade. I don't have to pay more for it like you have to do in the Sport L, for example. I like the volume knobs, real easy to get to. Guess what? I also have a 360 camera in here. That's something that the Accord doesn't even offer. So I do appreciate that. I also have rear parking sensors on here, where I believe the Accord Sport L has front and rear, but I could be wrong on that. So I also love this Android Auto. I've never seen it implemented like this. So it takes up the whole screen, which is common for Apple CarPlay, but not for Android Auto. Typically there's another like side screen just telling you the time. And it's really easy for me to play between different menus, and I can also just get straight back to the maps with this icon. So it's really, really handy. I love it. It's very easy to use. Best implementation of Android Auto I've ever seen. I also really enjoy Nissan's implementation of their audio system. Unfortunately, this car that doesn't have a tuning knob, but they make it very easy for you to find all of your stations and make them a preset as soon as possible. Climate control, super easy to use. And guess what? We have a heated steering wheel in here. That's something you can't even get on the touring grade of the Honda Accord. We have heated seats here, and we also have a very easy and simple to use climate control system with a couple rotary dials, as well as fan control here as well. The shifter here is pretty straightforward, leather wrapped or leatherette wrapped with a nice stitching here. And I like how this is soft touch on the inside where your knee is going to be resting. And I like the orange stitching on the steering wheel. The steering wheel feels great in my hands. We also have paddle shifters in here for you to play with the fake gears of the CVT. Now we have also steering assist in here, which is only going to work with your Nissan Safety Shield when radar cruise control on, but it worked pretty darn well, and I'd put it pretty close to as good as Honda Sensing, the newest technology there. The bezel here is kind of like a fake carbon fiber, and I actually prefer this over to just glossy black like we have in the finishes of the new Honda Accord. On the armrest, we have plenty of stitching as well as a good amount of cargo space. Now there's a little button on the bottom of the shifter that puts it into a sport mode. And besides that, there are no other driving modes in this vehicle. And as you can see, it's as fast as a Porsche 911. And then we're stuck at a light. But let's get into the brakes. I'm gonna accelerate and then just kind of hammer on the brakes here. I love the brakes in this. You know, the Honda Accord brakes are good as well. There's actually a refreshed Altima over there. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. But the brakes on that vehicle, even on the hybrid, were pretty good. The pedal's a little soft, progressive. This has a much firmer pedal to it, and I can't believe I'm saying that I actually like the Nissan Altima's brake feel better than the Honda's. The Honda's is still good. This thing launches pretty well. And then the RXs pull out in front of me, but like this thing always surprises me with its power. You know, 0 to 60 is around 6 seconds in this car, which is almost roughly a full second faster than the Accord Hybrid. I got two majorly different 0 to 60s on the Accord Hybrid. One was like 6.7, the other one was like 7.4. So I'm just gonna say on average it's around a 7-second 0 to 60 car. This one is around a 6-second. So the performance and the power this definitely has. Where it doesn't have, at least in terms of powertrain, is overall refinement. Like the CVT sometimes just doesn't do exactly what I want it to. I feel like it's like a muted response, but once that torque and power kick in, I'm off to the races. Now, as you can see, I'm in traffic and I can't really test the handling in Florida anyways because everything's straight and flat here. But throwing this vehicle in the turns, I feel like it has a little bit more body roll than the sport models of the Honda Accord, but the ride quality in here is so much better that it doesn't matter. Like, the handling in here is still really good compared to like any crossover for the most part, but the ride quality that I get in here is leaps and bounds above anything other than the touring model of the Accord. The touring definitely felt much more removed from any vibrations and harshness from the road, and this vehicle, even though it still has 19-inch wheels, feels far smoother than anything below the touring grade on the Honda Accord. Okay. It takes me about an hour to get out of town if I just want to review the car without traffic, and I don't have that sort of time this week. So I guess you're getting more of a real world experience for the average population in traffic. Now it's 85 degrees. I haven't used the heated seats. I don't want to get too sweaty. I have used the heated steering wheel in the mornings, and it does a really good job heating the bottom portion as well as the edges and the top portion, but not in the inside. So when you wrap your fingers around it, your fingers around the stitching are kind of cold, but it's still great to have overall a heated steering wheel where its competition is starting to fall off there. Now this car does feel dated in some ways. It doesn't have a stop-start feature, which I actually prefer because the engine isn't turning on and turning off all the time. But it does definitely hurt fuel economy down here in South Florida when you're always cranking the AC. What does it sound like? Pedal down. It builds power fairly linearly. It doesn't sound that great. I feel like the Infiniti products with this same setup have a little bit more linear of a response than we have here in the Altima. Now maybe it's because those engines also output a little bit more horsepower and torque. Maybe it's because they're running on premium, a different tune as well. But now if you're driving this thing on the highway, which I haven't been doing a whole lot, you'll be able to get pretty good gas mileage out of it. It's saying I'm getting like 50 to 60 miles per gallon right now, going about 55 miles an hour. But what is the response like when you need passing power right away? I'm just going to do pedal down at about 56 miles an hour. It's actually pretty good. And that's a surprising thing about most CVTs. They're a little lethargic off the line when you're just getting started out. And then once you're up to speed, they feel far more responsive than almost any automatic transmission or traditional automatic transmission with physical gears. Oh, one last thing, the Honda Accord does have more comfortable seats, at least for me at 6'1". The bottom cushion feels way too small for my legs. I just feel like I'm spilling out. And I'm not that big of a person, about like 190, 195 pounds. And like, I just feel like my legs are swallowing this bottom seat. So Honda Accord wins there as well. But the back of the seat is very, very, very comfortable. And the bottom cushion here is comfortable as well. I just feel like it's a bit sloppy, if you know what I mean. So this is about $1,000 more to a similarly equipped Sport L Honda Accord hybrid. Is it worth the money? Just going over that bump, if you really care about ride quality, absolutely. That Sport L Honda Accord, I couldn't believe how rough that vehicle rode for me. I didn't even publish a review on it because I had the Touring that I drove as well as the EX Turbo, and I thought people would be more interested in those grades. I didn't have a lot of good things to say about the Sport L with its lack of features and how harsh the ride was. And I gotta turn this blinker off because it's so loud. But it was just, I was left disappointed with the Sport L. I was happy with the Touring, and I think maybe the Sport model would be a great bargain buy for the hybrid Accord. But here we are with the 2-liter VC turbo. I really like the engine. The CVT is whatever. It's quick enough to get this car to 0 to 60, like I said, in 6 seconds. This will smoke any new Honda Accord out there. Like, I feel like this vehicle is essentially equipped like the Touring model of the Honda Accord, and I am spending less money here. Gosh, I turned that blinker on again. I shouldn't have. But let's do a little U-turn here. Can we keep up with the 3-liter turbo of the A7? You know, we just did it. We smoked it. You know, big Altima energy there. You guys probably were waiting for that, but oh man, it just soaked up that bump so well, even though we have these skinny tires and big wheels on here. I'm always impressed with the ride quality when I get in this vehicle. Very, very comfortable. Anyways, if I'm leasing, I might actually get the Altima here with the more power and more features. And I really enjoy this Android Auto setup, and also the Bose sound system, like I said, which you're gonna have to spend quite a few more $1,000s on the Touring Accord. If I'm buying the vehicle and owning it for a long time, I probably feel maybe a little bit more comfortable with that Honda Accord. But yeah, I'll see you guys down below. What are your thoughts about the refreshed Nissan Altima here versus the redesigned Honda Accord? They are both good in their own ways, but I actually feel like this is more of a driver's car compared to the powertrains now offered in the Honda Accord, and it has a better ride. But I got to cut myself off. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks Nissan for sending me this vehicle, and it just worked out that it was literally I get home from my trip of driving the Honda Accord. This is sitting in my driveway so I can compare them. Worked out pretty well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe for more.